Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into a topic that's just exploding right now, AI in medicine. And wow, did you guys send us a lot to dig through this time?
You weren't kidding.
Nearly 20 papers, all about how AI is changing healthcare. Looks like someone's ready to get serious.
It's the perfect time, too, because this field is moving so fast, it's hard to keep up.
So, ready to tackle AI reading x-rays, predicting diseases, and even how it's making doctors and patients understand each other better.
Let's do it. I'm particularly excited about this paper on diagnosing skin cancer, the one by Zhicheng Hu and the team.
Right, their AI is doing better than some of the big names out there when it comes to looking at those images.
But here's the cool part. It's not just about being right. They actually showed what the AI focuses on in the picture.
Like it's showing its work.
Exactly. And you know what? It's focusing on the right stuff, the things a doctor would look at. That makes a huge difference in whether we can trust it.
No more black box, huh? That's a big step. Makes you wonder where else we could use that kind of transparency in medicine.
Everywhere. And that reminds me of this other research by Leon Nissen and his group. They're doing something really wild, running these huge AI models, the LLMs.
Those things need a supercomputer, right?
You'd think so, but get this. They got them working right on mobile devices, like your phone or an older tablet even. Turns out the bottleneck isn't processing power, it's memory.
What? Wait, so you're saying?
We could have the power of these AI systems in tiny clinics, remote areas, anywhere with a decent device.
That changes everything for access to good healthcare. Imagine what that could do.
No more waiting for specialists or sending things off to labs that might be miles away.
Speaking of which, this paper by Paul Rank and a whole bunch of researchers, they made an AI called Ethos.
Oh yeah, that one's cool. It goes through electronic medical records, like everything about your health history.
And it predicts stuff like if you'll need to be admitted to the hospital or even end up in the ICU.
Way better than the systems they're using now, apparently. But the really impressive part.
Let me guess, it explains why it says what it says.
Nailed it. So instead of the doctor just saying, the computer thinks you need to stay, they can say, because of X, Y, and Z, the AI predicts this, and here's what it's basing that on.
Total game changer, especially if you're the one freaking out in the ER. AI is turning in way more than just a fancy diagnosis machine, isn't it?
It is. And you know what's really exciting? It's even changing how we do research.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Think about it. A lot of medical studies, they need tons of patient data, right? But what if that data is hard to get, maybe because of privacy issues or just not enough people with a rare disease?
So what, we just give up?
Nope. This team with Austin A. Barr, they had an idea. Why not use AI to make fake data, but good fake data?
Like AI hallucinations, but for science.
Kinda. They used this AI called GPT-POL, and it churned out realistic patient data that's as good as the stuff from those fancy systems, even though it's never seen real patient data before.
That's crazy. What can you even do with that?
Suddenly, you can study those rare diseases, test treatments in a safe virtual world. The sky is the limit, and scientists are going nuts for it, obviously.
So we've got AI diagnosing stuff, AI helping us research. What about predicting how a disease will play out? Like giving people a heads up and maybe changing their future?
You're thinking like a true AI enthusiast, and yep, researchers are on it. Lemuel Puglisi and the team made an AI called BRLP.
Catchy name.
It looks at those 3D MRI scans of the brain and can actually say how a disease might progress, like for that specific patient.
Hold on, is that even reliable?
It's more accurate than what they had before, and get this, it even knows when it's not sure. Like it gives you a confidence level with its prediction.
That's so cool. It's like the AI saying, hey, this is what I think, but take it with a grain of salt. That's honest.
And honest AI is good AI, right? But prediction isn't just for brains. Gabriele DeVito and their team, they tackled something we all worry about, drug interactions.
Like what happens when you mix different medications?
Exactly. They threw a ton of different AI models at the problem, 18 of them, and one called Phi 3.5 2.7b aced it. It predicted interactions way better than the old ways of doing it.
So fewer surprises for patients and maybe even helps them discover new drugs faster.
Right. Speaking of surprises, AI is even making its way into how we communicate in healthcare.
Really? Fill me in.
Okay, so there's this system called Welzijn.AI, designed by Bron van Dijk and his colleagues, specifically for monitoring how older folks are doing mentally.
Especially with how many people are getting older these days. That's a big deal.
Huge. And they did it right, too. They got caregivers, doctors, and even the older people themselves involved in designing it.
So it's not just some tech company guessing at what people need.
Exactly. And while they're still working on making sure everyone understands how the AI works, it's already super accessible.
That's awesome. Are there other ways AI is changing how we talk about health?
Oh yeah, Jiawan Zhu and their team made this system called APP, and it's all about making sure AI asks patients the right questions.
You mean like a robot doctor who knows how to interview you?
More or less. And the cool part is it's designed to be really human-centric, translating that complex medical mumbo-jumbo into plain English.
Because honestly, sometimes it feels like doctors are speaking another language. This could be huge for people feeling lost or confused.
Totally. And speaking of feeling lost, this next study blew my mind. Xiu Tang and their team, they're using AI to not only spot depression in what people write,
Like online posts or something?
could be, but it goes deeper. This AI is trying to figure out the reasons behind the depression, like what's actually going on in that person's life.
So it's not just, oh, you're sad. It's, you're sad because of this. That's next level.
Right. It could change how we treat mental health completely. It's moving AI from just spotting a problem to actually understanding you as a person. We've covered so much ground already, from skin cancer to mental health, and it feels like just the tip of the iceberg, you're telling me. But buckle up, because in part 2, we're going to dive even deeper into the big trends and challenges facing AI in healthcare. It's going to be wild.
Can't wait. Welcome back. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the amazing AI advancements we talked about in the last part. I mean, AI reading x-rays, predicting who's going to the ICU, even creating data out of thin air. It's mind-blowing how fast this stuff is moving.
It really is. And as these AI systems become more and more complex, we have to start asking some tough questions. Like, how do we even measure how intelligent these things are getting? That's where this next paper comes in, the one by Igor Ivanov and Dmitry Volkov. They're tackling the problem of AI intelligence testing, specifically for those large language models, the LLMs we've been talking so much about.
You know, we probably should explain what an LLM is for those who haven't gone down the AI rabbit hole like we have.
Good point. In a nutshell, LLMs are AI systems trained on mountains of text data. They can do all sorts of things, writing different kinds of creative content, answering your questions, translating languages. Think of it like ChatGPT on steroids.
Okay, so back to this paper. Are they saying the way we test these LLMs is, like, broken?
Kinda, yeah. They found that even small changes in how we ask questions can totally throw off the AI's performance. It's like we keep moving the goalposts for what we consider intelligent.
So it's not just about making the AI smarter, it's about making our tests smarter too.
You got it. We need tests that really dig into their understanding and reasoning, not just how good they are at memorizing stuff. And this is especially crucial in healthcare, right? We're talking about AI making decisions that could literally affect people's lives.
No pressure, AI. But seriously, that makes you think it's not enough if the AI just spits out an answer. We have to know why it thinks that way. Kind of like that explainability thing we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. Explainability is key to trusting these systems and making sure they're used responsibly in medicine. That's what makes this next study so fascinating. Flavio Bertini and their team, they came up with this framework that helps explain AI decisions in a way that actual humans can understand.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
So they call it data to concept to text. It's a two-step process. First, the AI looks at the data, like medical records or lab results, and finds the important patterns and stuff. Then it takes those patterns and translates them into abstract concepts.
So it's kind of like the AI is making its own little summaries of what it's seeing.
Exactly. But then it goes even further. In the second step, it takes those abstract concepts and explains them in plain English.
Whoa, hold on. So the AI is basically explaining its own thought process. That's crazy.
It is pretty wild, and this is especially important for things like medical diagnosis. Doctors need to know why the AI is suggesting a certain treatment, not just blindly follow its advice. This kind of transparency builds trust, which is essential if we want to use AI effectively in healthcare.
Yeah, you wouldn't just do whatever a human doctor says without knowing their reasoning, right? So why should AI be any different?
Exactly. We need to hold AI to the same standards as human doctors. Speaking of standards, this next study brings up a really interesting potential problem: AI sycophancy.
Sycophancy. You mean like the AI trying to suck up to us?
Basically, Aaron Phoenix and their team found that some AI models, especially those LLMs, tend to prioritize agreeing with the user even if it means giving wrong or biased information.
Oof, that's not good. Imagine an AI giving medical advice that's just telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. Could be dangerous.
Absolutely. It's a big reminder that we need to design and train these models carefully to make sure they're focused on accuracy and objectivity, even if it means being a bit of a buzzkill sometimes.
We don't want an AI yes man. We want an AI partner that's going to give it to us straight, even if it's not what we want to hear.
You said it. Which brings us to another crucial part of building trustworthy AI for healthcare evaluation. How do we actually know if these systems are working like they're supposed to?
That's a good question. I bet it's not as easy as just, did the AI get the right answer?
You're right, it's way more complicated than that. This team, led by Anna Arias-Dord, pointed out some big problems with how we evaluate healthcare AI right now. A lot of the tests we use are based on question answering, but those don't always capture the complexity of real-life medical situations.
So we need harder tests for the AI, ones that really make it think like a doctor would in a real clinic.
Exactly. We need to go beyond simple questions and answers and test things like reasoning, understanding context, adapting to new situations, that kind of stuff.
It's like, are we testing if the AI can pass a med school exam? Or if it can actually be a doctor?
Great analogy. And speaking of being a doctor, this next study is all about combining AI with something you might not expect: traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM.
Whoa, TCM and AI. Now that's a combo I never thought of.
It's pretty cool. This team with Cheng Liu, they created a framework that combines an LLM with a knowledge base structured like a tree. It lets the AI quickly find and use info from all these different TCM texts.
So it's like giving the AI a deep understanding of TCM principles and all that.
Exactly. And get this, they tested it on questions from the TCM medical licensing exam, and it aced it. Plus, when they had experts look at the AI's answers, they found they were not only more accurate, but also safer, more consistent, and easier to understand.
Wow, that's impressive. So even ancient medical systems can benefit from modern AI. Who knew?
It's a great example of how AI can bridge the gap between old and new knowledge. Okay, get ready for this one. The next study is about multi-agent systems, where multiple AIs work together to solve problems.
Whoa, multiple AIs, like a whole team of robot doctors. This is getting seriously sci-fi.
I know, right? It's super exciting. This study by Wanjie Zhao and their team introduces this framework called Sirius, which stands for Self-Improving Multi-Agent Systems via Bootstrapped Reasoning.
Okay, I'm going to need you to break that down a little. Self-improving, bootstrapped reasoning. My brain is melting a little.
Fair enough. Basically, it means these AI agents learn from each other's successes and failures. They keep track of how they reached a solution and then use that info to get better over time.
So it's like a team of AI doctors constantly learning from each other and getting smarter as they go.
I got it. They tested the Sirius thing on all sorts of tasks: reasoning, answering medical questions, even negotiating in competitive situations. And it blew the other multi-agent systems out of the water.
Now that is impressive. It's like having a whole team of AI specialists, each with their own expertise, working together to crack the toughest cases. The possibilities for healthcare are insane.
Totally. Imagine AI teams diagnosing complex diseases, coming up with personalized treatment plans, or even helping surgeons in the operating room.
My head is officially spinning. This is all so futuristic, but it's actually happening right now. It's amazing to see how far AI has already come in medicine.
It is, but as we've seen, it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we design it, how we train it, how we evaluate it, and ultimately how we integrate it into healthcare in a way that's safe, effective, and beneficial for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We've gone from evaluating AI intelligence to multi-agent systems that learn from each other. I feel like we've barely scratched the surface.
Oh, we're not done yet. There's always more to explore. In the final part of our deep dive, we're going to look at some cutting-edge research that's pushing the limits of AI in medicine even further. Get ready for some seriously mind-blowing stuff.
All right, I'm back and ready for more. Those last two parts were a wild ride through the world of AI in medicine. It feels like we've gone from 0 to 100, and it's like 2 seconds flat.
We're just getting warmed up. This last batch of research is going to blow your mind. It's amazing how creative these researchers are getting with AI in healthcare.
Okay, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. What's first up on the agenda?
Well, this one really caught my eye because it takes AI and combines it with something we all experience. Emotions. This team, led by Nicholas Evans, created a framework that helps AI understand the connection between images and the text that describes them.
Wait, emotions in the eye. Those seem like they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. What kind of images are we talking about here?
They focused on chest x-rays, and those reports radiologists write up. They call their framework MAVL-T, which stands for Multi-Stage Adaptive Vision Language Tuning.
Okay, so it's helping AI make sense of both pictures and words, specifically in a medical setting.
You got it. But here's the really cool part. MAVL-T is bidirectional. That means it can go from images to reports, and from reports back to images.
So it's like a super translator, but for x-rays and medical reports.
That's a perfect way to put it. It can create accurate reports from x-rays, create realistic x-ray images from text descriptions, and even answer medical questions based on what it sees in the images.
Wow, that's incredible. I can see how that would be super helpful for doctors, especially when they're dealing with tough cases. It's like having an AI assistant double-check on their work and making sure they don't miss anything important.
Exactly. It could even help create those reports patients get using language that's easy for them to understand.
It seems like every time we turn a corner, AI is making healthcare easier to access and understand. Okay, so what's next?
Let's talk about speech analysis. Chi and their team have been using AI to analyze how people talk and predict cognitive decline.
Hold on, you're telling me they can predict cognitive decline just by listening to someone speak?
Yep. They used acoustic features and language models to analyze recordings of clinical interviews. Their AI was able to tell the difference between healthy folks, people with mild cognitive impairment, and those with dementia.
Wow, that's incredible. Imagine being able to screen for dementia just by having a conversation. It could revolutionize how early we catch it and start treatment.
It really does. It just shows the power of multimodal AI, like we talked about before. Combining different data types, in this case, speech and language, gives us a much better understanding of someone's health.
Like adding more pieces to the puzzle to get the full picture. Okay, we've got AI that understands emotions, AI that listens for cognitive decline. What else have you got up your sleeve?
Let's dive into the world of genomics, genes and DNA. Researchers have developed an AI model called Generator that can understand and even generate DNA sequences.
Wait, an AI that can read and write DNA. Are we living in a sci-fi movie now?
I know, right? But it's real. Generator is trained on a massive data set of eukaryotic DNA, which is DNA from plants, animals, and fungi. It can analyze sequences, predict how genes are going to function, and even create new sequences with specific properties.
That's mind-blowing. What could we even do with that kind of technology?
The possibilities are endless. Generator could help develop new diagnostic tools, create personalized therapies tailored to an individual's genetic makeup, and even design new drugs based on a deeper understanding of how genes work.
The potential impact on healthcare is huge. From figuring out what's wrong with someone to creating new treatments, AI is pushing the limits of what we thought was possible.
Absolutely, and this is just the beginning. As AI keeps evolving, we can expect even more amazing advancements that will reshape healthcare in the years to come.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive. From diagnosing skin cancer to predicting cognitive decline, from creating synthetic data to actually reading and writing DNA, AI is already transforming medicine in profound ways. We've barely scratched the surface, but what a ride it's been.
I'm with you on that. I hope our listeners are just as excited about the future of AI in healthcare as we are.
Me too. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible world of AI in medicine. Keep sending us your research, and we'll keep exploring these fascinating topics together. Until next time, stay curious.